to the Crochet Crevice with my friends at yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to do the Willow Crochet Shawl. This can actually be made as a blanket if you wish, and this is using Patons Lincoln Fog, which is a discontinued yarn at this point. However, you can use yarn like Red Heart Super Saver, any yarns like that, and this will be awesome. You'll just have to figure out what your yarn quantity is if you're going to substitute. And you can just take a great guess for that. You'll use a 5mm size H crochet hook today, and my favorite part is on number 2, there is a crochet diagram. My goal today is just to show you how to make this square. You can attach this together using an invisible join, and I'll put a link in the more information of this video on the joining for that, just in case you would like to learn how to do that. And then the very end is just a matter of just doing single crochets around the outside of the whole thing, and that's what our story is today. This is what it will look like once it's all assembled, but then you can make more squares and make this into a blanket or a throw. So let's begin with a 5mm size H crochet hook today, and I am using Patons Lincoln Fog because I still have it in stock. Let's begin. On camera today, I'm using the color called Nest Egg, and just with my 5mm size H crochet hook today. Let's begin by chaining 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and just go into the very first chain, and this yarn over, pull through and through, and this is the center ring of your square. Put the straggler around the outside of the ring as if it's part of the ring, and you can hide that in later so that you don't have to use a tapestry needle for that. Let's move on to round number 1. This is a cheating technique. It's not in the pattern itself, but this is what I would do. Just chain 1 only, and then just put in 16 double crochets around the center of the ring. It originally says a chain 3 and then put 15, but this chain 1 acts like a little builder, and then it will be a nicer join finish. So I want you to put 16. If you're doing it my way, do 16 double crochets around the center of the ring, and just put me on hold, and we'll continue from this point. If you're doing it my way, you should have 16 double crochets. If you're doing it Catherine's way, it's chain 3 and then 15 double crochets. And if you're doing it my way, just a slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet. And if you did it Catherine's way, just slip stitch to the top of the chain 3. My way kind of fills it in so there's no gapping space, but you decide what works for you. Let's continue along to round number 2. Round number 2, nice and easy. We're going to chain 4, which will count as a double crochet and a chain 1 space. So 1, 2, 3, that's the double crochet, and then a chain 1. So the fourth one is a chain 1 space. So it'll look like it's an L shape. Starting in the very next one, it's because you've slip stitched to this one here when you finish the last round. So the next stitch will be a double crochet, and then you're going to chain 1. So then you'll come into the next stitch, double crochet, and then chain 1. And you're going to do this all the way around, so you'll have a total count of 16 of what appears to be double crochets when you get all the way around. Let's do that. Put me on pause, and I'll be right back. So I'm coming up all the way around. I've double crocheted this one, chain 1 before you finish. So with this chain 3 and the other 15 double crochets, you should be counting 16 of these spokes. You're now going to slip stitch to the third one up. So just count 1, 2, 3, and it's the third one, and that's where you're going to finish. So you should be able to count 16 of these spokes all the way around before moving on, and we're moving on to round number 3 in a moment. Round number 3, we're at the top of what appears to be a double crochet. So you're just going to chain 3. That's a new double crochet now. And now the chain 1 space is each going to have 2 double crochets in it. So go right into the space and double crochet twice. Then move on. This is the next double crochet. So that's where you're going to apply a double crochet in. And then the next space is going to have 2 double crochets in it. And I need you to do that all the way around for round number 3. I'll be right back. Coming all the way around, and I'm just putting 2 double crochets in the space before I started. And then you're just going to slip stitch to the top of the chain 3. And that's what that looks like. So in round number 4 that we're about to start, we're now going to start converting to a square. Let's begin. So let's begin to convert to a square in round number 4. Let's take our time. So we're going to be started by making the first corner first, and then some spacing, and then we'll end up in a new corner over here, and etc. Let's begin by chaining 1 and single crochet into the same stitch. You are now going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And what I want you to pay attention to the most is that you see that these two are sitting in a space, and then you see one, it's almost like on a spoke. We're only going to concentrate on the ones on a spoke. So you're going to skip these two middle ones right here and go to the one that has the same spoke. So follow it straight up, and you're going to single crochet there. Now you're going to chain 2 and jump to the next spoke. So just follow it up. So you're skipping 2 and just single crochet there. This is considered the middle of the side, which I'm about to do. And so you're going to chain 3. Skip the 2 that are there, go right to the spoke and single crochet. So now we're going to make our way to the next corner. So we're going to chain 2, skip the 2 that are in here, go right with the spoke and follow it up, single crochet. And now this is the new corner you're about to do, and you're going to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So go right to the one that's part of the spoke. So skipping the 2 and single crochet in, and let's begin another side together. So you're going to chain only 2, follow the spoke up here, single crochet, and now you're doing the middle one, so it's chain 3, skipping, looking for the spoke, so skipping 2, chain 2, look for the next spoke, and now you're ready for a new corner. So chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and go to the next spoke. So skipping 2, and please do this all the way around. So each one of the sides looks the same. I'll be right back in a moment at the end of round number 4. When you get around to number 4, you're chaining 2. It's the last space before you started here, and just slip stitch then into the very first single crochet. And so it's almost looking corner-like, but it will be really soon. And let's move on to round number 5. Let's begin number 5. If you're looking at the diagram, it is mislabeled, so number 5 appears to be number 4, just so you're aware of that. And just slip stitch to your first chain 5 space, which is your corner. Now I want you to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and put in 4 double crochets in there. So with the chain 3 and these 4 going in, that gives you the number 5. So 5 double crochets are technically going here. You're now going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and in the same one, just push it down the chain work and put in another 5 double crochets into that space. So you're creating the very corners of your square. The next is the chain 2 space. I want you to put in a single crochet there. And the next chain 3 space is the middle of the side, and there's going to be 5 half double crochets there. So let's count them out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Single crochet into the next chain 2 space. And then this is your corner, so you're going to start off with 5 double crochet first. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Chain 3 turns the corner, and then in the same space, just move it down the chain if you don't have enough, and put in another 5 double crochets there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Your next is a chain 2 space, so single crochet. This is the middle of the side, so it's going to be 5 half double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The next is the chain 2 space, and then you're back on another fresh corner. So it'll be 5 double crochet, chain 3, 5 double crochet, and then I want you to just take the lesson you just learned and continue to apply it all the way around, and I'll be right back in a moment. This is round number 5. I'm coming all the way around. I got my 5 half double crochets in the center of a side, and the last one is a single crochet here, and I'm just going to attach it with a slip stitch to the top of the chain 3 to finish off. So what I need to do is that right where I'm sitting, make sure I'm going right into the space, not or to the chain, not to a space. So what I have to do is that I have to fasten this yarn off right where I am, and I'll show you how to fasten off yarn while I'm here. And so you're just going to pull it through, and you need to put it through to the back side. So the next round is starting in a different spot, so we don't want to slip stitch our way to get to that spot because it'll be really obvious. But just take the yarn strand and just drag it through the back side of your square. And when you pull the first time, make sure you just don't change the shape. And you want to go back and forth. And it's better if you split the plies when you go to do stuff like this than it is just to squeeze in between yarn strands. Okay, so we got that going. We're going to keep the same color, and we're just going to start our journey. And we're going to start our journey on a corner, like there, with the same yarn. Let's begin. So round number 6, we're going to start off in the corner, and we're just going to join it, chain 1, and single crochet in. This yarn strand, you're going to need to hide that in with the tapestry needle later because it's too lacy to hide it underneath the stitches. So this is a corner, chain 3, so you're going to chain 3, so 1, 2, and 3, and single crochet into the same chain 3 space. So now you're going to chain a total of 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're going to double crochet right into this first single crochet that you'll run into. You're then going to chain 3, so 1, 2, 3, and go to the middle half double crochet that you have and single crochet in. And now you're going to chain 3, and you're going to double crochet into the next single crochet here. And now you're going to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're on a fresh corner. So you'll single crochet, chain 3, and single crochet in. And let's just do one more side together. So we're now going to chain 5 to get ourselves to the single. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So double crochet into the single, chain 3, single crochet into the middle half double crochet that you'll run into. It's right here. Chain 3, double crochet into the next single, and then chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and single crochet right into the corner, chain 3, and single crochet in again. So I want you to continue this and take the lesson and get yourself all the way around. And this here is a fabulous round. So it's round number 6. I'll be right back. So I'm coming up on this round number 6, and I am just gonna chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that takes me from this last double right to the first single crochet that I started with. Then I'm just gonna slip stitch. So now we're gonna begin round number 7, and let's slip stitch ourselves to the corner first, and we're going to begin next. We're officially going to go to the iconic square design. And so I'm going to start by chaining 3. So 1, 2, 3, that's your first double. And then you're going to double crochet twice more. And to turn the corner, you're only going to chain 2. And then in the same spot, put in 3 double crochet. So corners from this one will be 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. And we'll finish this when we get back around. So starting in the very next spot here, I'm just going to put my straggler with it and just trap it underneath. So this chain 5 spot is going to have 6 double crochets just around the space. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now we're going to jump to the next chain 3 space and make this 4 double crochets. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now we're going to go to the next chain 3 space and put in 4 double crochets. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now we have the chain 5 space before a corner, and this will be 6 double crochet. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now we're going to start a corner. So the corner, as I mentioned, is going to be 3 double crochet to start. So we have 1, 2, and 3, followed by chain 2, and then 3 double crochet again. So we have 1, 2, and 3. So here's the verbal instructions for the rest of it. The chain 5 space is going to have 6 double crochets. The chain 3 space is going to have 4, 4, and 6, and then your corners as I just showed you, and you're going to do this all the way around for round number 7. So please do this now, and I'll be right back. So I'm coming around here on number 7, and I'm just going to join it to the first top of the chain 3. We're now going to continue to round number 8, which will be your final for each one of your squares. The last round of your square, you're just going to chain up 1 and single crochet in the same one that you did the join, and then you're just applying 1 single crochet into each of the stitches that you run into. The corners will be 2 single crochets, so 1 and 2, and then chain 2, and then 2 more single crochet. So your corners will be 2 single crochet, chain 2, 2 single crochet, and you're just going to blaze all the way across the tops of each one of the stitches with a single crochet, and meet me back here in just a moment, and I'll be right back. I'm coming all the way around, and I've just single crocheted myself right to the end, and I'm just going to slip stitch to the top of the beginning like this. If you don't like the way that the slip stitch looks at the end because it creates a lump, what you can do is do an invisible join, and what you can do before attaching it, just pull this out and just throw it through a tapestry needle. And I do this when it matters on stuff like this, and it only takes a few moments. So just take the needle and just go through the stitch work from the opposite side coming towards you. And you see where this is coming out of the stitch? Go directly in the stitch and toward the back of the project. And what you're going to do is you're just going to pull this, and this gets rid of any of the weird lumps, and it eliminates the look of the slip stitch. So just stay on the back side of this and just weave in your yarn. And again, it's better to separate the plies than it is just to go between the strands. And so you want to do that a total of 3 times. So make sure it's nice and secure before you move on to your next square. So then, therefore it's good. So I'm now going to take you to the sheet, and we're going to talk about how to join these together. If you want to lay it flat, just let it just rest, and you can just continually add your squares that you would need to do. And it's a total of 36 squares and in order to make this. So let's go to the diagram next. Now each one of these are the 36, and you can see the color ordering. You can decide any color that you wish. Now they're using the what is called as an invisible join, which I will put a link in the video description as I mentioned. And what this is that when you do an invisible join, see this color here, you're going to want to use that color to join this square and this square together. So you never want to use a joining of a yarn that does not make sense. For example, you would not want to use this color to make the join here because then it will stand out. So you'll either have to use this color or this color when you're going to make this as a join. It really does stand out. Also, when you're doing this, you want to use the back loop only. So with the right sides facing up, you want to, when you join, you only want to use the back loop of there, so you don't use the full one. And what this does is it causes the yarn to sink down and will be in between the join, and once you see it joining, you'll see that that makes a lot of sense, and that's what you're seeing in the sample itself. Once you have that done, you are going to then come back here, and you're going to do your first round. So your says 1 single crochet in each stitch and chain to the next. So you can see that there's going to be a chain here when it joins to the next one. So excuse me about that. So you see that there's a chain. So when it's joined to the next one, you're going to see a chain here and then a chain on the other side. So you want to make sure that you were single crocheting in the chain as well, not just skipping over that when you're doing jumping from one to the other. On the corners, you will have one single crochet, one chain two, one single crochet, and you'll do that all the way around. Round number 2 is just one single crochet in each of the single crochet across, because you don't have to worry about that anymore. And on the corners, it'll be one single crochet, chain 2, one single crochet, and you'll do that around. And then the third round will be the same as the second. So again, one single crochet in each stitch, corners will be one single crochet, chain 2, one single crochet. If you wish to add tassels to this, I don't know if it's really necessary, but if you wanted to, there's instructions here, and also we have tutorials available on our channel for that as well. So this here is the Willow Crochet Shawl, which would be a great doubler as a blanket. And this is yarnspirations.com. We'll see you. Bye-bye.